Hi, welcome to the Virtual Design Master, Challenge 3. The first task is to create automation workflow for server deployments in virtual data centers. So the task is to deploy a Windows server, and other operating systems. So I have chosen Windows Server 2008 R2 and Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 6. So here the automation product what I'm using is vCenter Orchestrator. So when you install the virtual center, automatically, silently the virtual center orchestrator is installed. You just need to start the service and configure it. So this is the configuration page. So you log in, and this is how it looks. So there are a lot of plugins, so you just need to unzip the plugin and locate the .dir file and install. So here you could see by default a lot of plugins get installed, and it automatically gets associated with the respective virtual setup. Now to connect to the vCenter orchestrator, you just open up the client, and while it is opening up, let's go back to our virtual center. Now here there are two virtual machines which are the goal virtual machines. So for the automatic deployment, I am creating a workflow which will clone the Windows Server 2008 and Rails 6 virtual machines automatically. So here, so this is the vCenter orchestrator. We go to the design view. I have created a workflow with just two inputs. The user just needs to provide the virtual machine name and choose the option whether he wants to have a Windows machine or a Linux machine. So depending on that, the automation will start, and within few minutes it will have the virtual machine ready on the virtual data center. So this is the final workflow. Just to show you this, so there are two workflows associated with this workflow. One is Windows clone, other is Linux clone. So there is a scriptable task and a decision. So I'll start with the workflow, and while the workflow processes, I'll explain the components which I have included in the workflow. So I'll name this as Windows Final, and it will be a Windows machine. So I just click on submit, and the workflow has started. So it has started the Windows clone. So if I go back to the virtual center, you could see this, the clone has started. You could see Windows Final here under clone VMs, and it has taken the server 2008 gold image. So let me go back here, and let me also start the second workflow. That will be for Linux. Let us call this as Linux file submit. So it is authenticating, and so the clone process has started. You could see here you have the green highlighted, right, which tells you the Linux clone is in progress. So if we go back here, the second clone process has started with Linux final, and it has taken the real golden image. So while it is cloning, let's go back and let's go through the workflow. Now I started with two separate workflows. First with Windows workflow. Let me show you that. Okay. So this is the workflow. So I'm using the action which comes along with the VCO library. So here I have changed the bindings. So as I know, it's the always the golden image remains same. So I have kept few of the things in attributes, which would be the automatic inputs, where user don't have to worry about that. So like the virtual machine, I have chosen the gold image here. I can change to any other virtual machine if I want to clone any other virtual machine from here. So I have chosen the golden image from here. Similarly, I have fed the destination folder, data store, host, and I have also included the thin provisioning option, so that I can save some space. Only the input is the name of the virtual machine. So this is if I run. Let me show you this. So whenever I'm creating a workflow, I'll validate. If there are no errors, then only it'll let me run the workflow. So if I run the workflow, it'll just ask for the virtual machine. So similarly, I have a Linux workflow which will clone the Linux virtual machine. So same components, just that I'm pointing it to a different virtual machine. Now let's see the stage here. So still at the 45%. Okay. So now coming back here. So I have included a scriptable task. Now there should be a intelligent component which would decide, depending on the input, what cloning needs to be done. Whether if the user enters Windows, automatically it should understand and it should start the Windows cloning. Instead of running two separate workflows, I combine these two workflows. And let me brief you about the scripting. It's a simple scripting. So I have included two input parameters, that is virtual machine name and an option to choose the guest operating system, Windows or Linux. Now if I go to inputs, I have for choose guest input, I have included the presentation. If I go to the presentation, I can see here, and the properties. Okay, there's something went back. Let me quickly connect back. So this wouldn't impact the workflow which is running in the background. So once we fire up the workflow, it goes to the virtual center, and virtual center takes care of it. So in the interim, if the orchestrator disconnects, there is no impact on the running task. So as I was explaining about the workflow here, okay. So presentation. So here I have a predefined answer with Windows and Linux. That's the reason it gives option to the user to select Windows or Linux. Now depending on that, depending on this option, what customers select, what the user selects, there is a decision object. So suppose if the user selects Windows, I have kept the decision a Boolean equation. If the input goes as Windows, I have a Boolean equation which says if it is equal to Windows, it is a success and it will start the Windows clone. If it is not Windows, then it is failure and it will start the Linux clone. So that is how it understands the user's input and clone the respective virtual machine. Now I have mapped the virtual machine name from here to respective respective workflows. For example, so here, so this name has been mapped. Similarly, the virtual machine name has been mapped here. So this is that is how it is understanding the virtual machine name which is given here. So let's go back to the vSphere. So I also have in the workflow I have an option whether I want to power on the virtual machine after cloning it. So let me quickly open the console and let's see what's happening here. Let me power on the Linux machine as well. My Linux is booting up. If you see, the VMware tools are already running because in the master image I had VMware tools already installed. I'll pause the video while it is booting up. Alright, welcome back. So it has booted up, and here I am logging in on the Rails server. It is success. And let me log in here. So while you are editing these workflows, the best part is to go to the visual binding, and this is the location from where you can easily map the inputs, outputs, and everything, and then just validate it. If there are any errors, it will throw an error, and it will also suggest you what needs to be done to correct that. So coming back here on the clone machine, so it's a power domain vdm.local, and it's a Windows 2008, and it has a valid IP address. So with this, we are able to achieve the first task where we have a working workflow which will deploy the server 2008 and Rails 6 servers on our virtual data center. In the next video, I'll explain you about the second task. Thank you.